All right, I think I'm good this time. We should be good. Let's see, this should be working this time. So awesome. What's going on, guys? So I'm going to be talking about the major problem with crypto that people just don't quite realize and how to fix that. So that's what we're going to be doing at Control Token, Control Protocol, and our new project coming out on Solana, which is Sol Control. So the very simple way to understand is that people are chasing value, and they're not chasing anything other than value. And so it's important that you realize, or that we focus on getting people value. It's not going to be in giving more tokens or utility revenue, or in just doing giveaway. It's like people are trying to solve a problem without understanding the solution. And they're trying to give somebody things they don't want and to try to fix the problem. And in order to fix the problem, people need value. It's that simple, which means that when we make cryptos, people are going to have a bad time if they don't get value, and they're going to have a good time if they do get value. So typically how cryptos work is people realize this, that all of the value in a crypto is going to be in its pump and in its dump. So people are not chasing the future of a project. They're chasing this pump right here, and trying to ride this wave. And they're hoping it's a big one, but really what this means is that if you look at the lifespan of a crypto, or what their goal is, people are not chasing like the long-term success. They're not chasing the future. They're really just chasing to have the largest exit, because that's where the value is. So like the main problem with crypto is that the only way to get value is to sell. And so people are chasing to be the largest position to leave a project, which means your incentives aren't attached to the success of that project, especially if people are used to all the fun happening at the beginning of the project. When it pumps, everybody's happy, and then it dumps, everybody's upset. After it dumps, then people resort to utility, and we need community, and we need to come together, and we just got to do all these things, and it just doesn't work. So the thing that people are chasing is they're chasing the initial hype. Oh no, you can't hear? You can't hear, Cafe? It shows that I have audio. Yeah, it shows that I have audio. Let me double check it. I will double check, because it shows on my end that we have audio, but let me, this should be good. Did you have your volume down, Cafe? Did you just have your volume down? So yeah, so this is mind blowing to me, because this is what people don't realize, and it's like, don't pay attention to what I look like. Just look at this information, and you'll understand that what I'm telling you is true. You can hear, awesome. What's up, Free Gender? What's up, Tommy? Just a bit low. Okay, cool. I can turn it up. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, what's up, guys? That should be a little better. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. I can try to set the mic a little closer. So the people are chasing value, and where the value's really at is the initial hype. So people are not chasing the long term of a project. You're good. Cafe, nice job, bro. Just have your audio down and telling people there's no sound. That's great, man. Like people are not approaching, if this is where the value's at, then people aren't actually focusing on the success of the project. We're just trying to be the largest exit position at the beginning of a project, and that's all we're chasing. So we're not chasing the future. We're not chasing like the success. We're not chasing what's good for the community. So, we're trying to find a community to be our exit liquidity. This is a hard reality, but if we don't deal with this, crypto's not going to be better. And so, we're dealing with this, and we're making better cryptos, but everybody else kind of has to confront these hard truths, that it's not about community. It's about sacrificing a community as exit liquidity for the sellers, which is the whales who sell. And we are what this causes is, because all the value is in dumping the chart and there's no value in the future, then especially compared to your bag that you get from leaving a project, it's just a very simple truth that getting in and out of a project in the beginning is far more valuable than getting in and holding on for the ride most of the time, like 90 something percent of the time. If you don't ride that initial wave and dump it, then the utility and the marketing and what comes after most of the time is not going to produce anything. But the important thing here is, because this is the reoccurring pattern that we see happening with every crypto, it's hardwired us to not care about the community, about the future, about the success, about the idea, because there's really, the value's not there. There's no value in the future, right? There's value in dumping the project in the beginning, but there's not really value in holding the project long term. And because the value system works that way, right? This is really just the value system, and it basically rewards selling. That's one of the major points about this, is a taxless token rewards selling. So the only way to get value is to leave your position. Um, that's not really aligning interest with community, future success, growth. It's actually misaligning it, because when the chart dumps right here, that's when people stop caring about the idea or the project, right? They don't want to be a part of that. Are there any projects being developed or partnerships? We're about to launch Soul Control probably this week. I'm ready to go on my end, but we have a little bit of dev work that's being finished. So as soon as they're done, then we're good to go. So if you only reward selling, then the only incentive is to leave the project, right? That's what selling does, to leave the project, really hurt the community and the belief or hype momentum, and in the largest position possible. This is why everybody wants to be a whale, be early, dump your bag. And so if you're chasing, and there's no reason you wouldn't, because it's set up this way, this is what we're all chasing, right? To be early in a project that blows up so that we can sell and make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. We're not, that mindset is not chasing the community, the future, the success, or the idea of the project. You actually have to sacrifice all of those things. Those are the things that are damaged whenever you leave a project in a very large position. You hurt the idea, you hurt the success, you hurt the future, you hurt the community when you sell down. But that's what's being rewarded with your traditional setup. So this is just how crypto traditionally works, and people are trying to add things to this to change it. And if you don't address this, if you don't change these incentives, it's really common sense. This is rewarding selling. We need to reward holding, right? But we need to reward holding. If we only do it a little bit and the value is still going to be in selling, people are still going to sell. We have to significantly reward holding, so that if you have significant value in holding versus significant value in selling, people can actually choose if they believe in the community, the future, the success, or the idea. If there's no value in holding and there's only value in selling, people don't get to decide, do I like this project and want to stay? If they have to make the decision to take profits, obviously you're going to sell your bag. If you've got 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K, maybe even just a couple thousand, if you put in a couple hundred to get profits, because you know that you're not chasing the long term of the project, you're chasing the pump, and you're chasing to be as large as an exit position in the pump. And so this setup, it's got people getting into a project, and it's got this is where the excitement and the fun happens. This is where you build your community. And really what this does is it builds up liquidity, and then the whales exit, they get rewarded for selling down the liquidity, and the rest of your holders, both big and small, are left with a project that has lost its ability to get the early pump momentum, right? People are no longer going to look at it and say, oh, I'm early, right? They're going to be like, that chart's already dumped. I don't want to be a part of that. So then they go, well, what can we do to, and they say, we need marketing and we need utility. So it's like it's too late, and people are realizing that's the only thing that can save the project after it's dumped is utility or marketing. You need more people to either provide exit liquidity, or you need to produce something valuable to get revenue to come back to the charts or the holders. Well, it's already like kind of too late, you know what I mean? In the sense that you're just kind of winging it. You don't have this great idea that you bought into. You just bought into something to try to exit, missed your chance, and now you're hoping in a utility that hasn't really been well thought through. You maybe didn't believe it in the beginning, and that's not why you bought. You bought because you were chasing the pump, but now that the pump's over, you can't hope in that pump anymore. Now you have to hope in marketing or the utility. And that's extremely hard to get a project to come back from marketing and utility. It can happen, but it's just not easy. Most of the time it doesn't. But here's where the power is at, right? It's at the pump. This is where the holders are made. This is where the growth happens. This is where the value is collected. The problem is all the value is being given to the people that are leaving the project, which is people that are selling, and the people who have the biggest ability to sell is going to be your whales. So we're creating this system that brings all these people together, uses them as exit liquidity, and then leaves them with a project and a team who are trying to get growth based off of marketing and utility with a chart that's down, and everybody looks at it and they say, I've already missed the pump. Why would I go back? Why would I buy that project? I'm not going to buy your project, right? Community takeover, boom. Hey guys, we're doing this. We're not going to rug. We're just blah, blah, blah. And it's just over and over and over again. This keeps happening. So what we need is what I believe the solution to all of crypto is, and I think it's very obvious, it's very simple, is we need to counter incentivizing everybody to leave the project. I feel like that's pretty much common sense, right? If we say, hey guys, we'll give you all this value if you leave, and of course the whales are going to exit, right? And if we say, hey, if you stay and you don't sell, if you don't leave, then you're going to miss your chance to get all that value. Of course, people are going to exit your project and it's not going to be able to grow. The purpose of why we should be doing this at all is because that we believe in the project, right? We should be supporting things that we believe in. We want to be a part of its future. We want to see it succeed, and we like the idea, right? Otherwise, if you don't actually believe in any of those things, then you're literally just trying to use people as exit liquidity, which is what rewarding selling does. It just find exit liquidity. Hopefully, a lot of people buy. And rewarding holding incentivizes you to stay and not leave, right? And if we want people to really be able to decide whether or not they like a project or don't like a project, but the value system set up right now is not based on whether you like the project or not. It's purely just based on whether you can get other people to believe that they're going to make money on the project. This is why when it comes to meme coins, it doesn't have to be something valuable. It can be a picture of a butt. It can be a squirrel. It doesn't matter. Why? Because it's not about the idea being good. It's just about convincing people to believe in it. And so because the pump, all you have to convince people is a lot of other people are going to buy this, right? And you're early. Trump coin, Pepe, anything comes out, people continue to think they're early, and they don't know when it's going to hit its top, because when the whales exit the position and leave the project, that's the top, and you're left with whatever that is and that community. The goal of crypto should be to help people. And that may not be, people resort to that later. In the beginning, it's about finding exit liquidity. Later, it's like, oh yeah, it's all community and let's produce utility. They realize that it's not good to only focus on a system that extracts value. And so that we try to later resort to a system that gives value. But we need to be focused on changing the powerful part, which is the pump, to give value and to incentivize the community, the future, the success, and the idea. This is very simple. I couldn't simplify this anymore, but this is what we're doing at Control Protocol. People eventually, I think, will wake up, but right now people just want to stick their head in the sand and not acknowledge that this is where the problem is, and try to ignore it and say, oh, it's all about community and it's all about utility and all those things. It's like utility is good, but most of the time utility is not going to produce anything compared to this pump in the beginning of the project. Most of the time the value's in dumping a project, and so people are going to use communities to dump the project. People are going to approach your project not based on wanting it to succeed, wanting to help the community, or wanting to work together. They're going to approach it based on trying to get the largest position, to do the most damage, to get the most value, and to be the reason that the chart dumps. That's what everybody's chasing. Pretty common sense that you need people to not chase the destruction of your project. I think is common sense. And so where does this value come from that they're dumping? It comes from buys, right? This is the power. It's not coming from utility. It's not coming from doing, community efforts and giving away stuff or donating to charity. The value that everyone's chasing, what people really care about. Don't get lost and get distracted by, oh, we're doing all this. No, this is what people want. They want value, and it comes from buys. So instead of having buys, the liquidity that's coming in, the value that's coming in, only rewards selling. You're just saying, hey, whoever leaves, you get all the value. You need to balance that value with rewarding holding. And people understand you need to reward holding. They just don't understand that you have to be able to balance it. And if you can't balance the liquidity coming from buys, then nothing else can compete, right? Utility revenue, it's got nothing on speculation. This is why meme coins can explode with no utility. Why? Because speculation is more powerful than utility most of the time. Nothing can compete with this. Every solution that people are posing, the giving away more tokens, community coming together, community DAO voting, everything is just a distraction from the reality that all the value goes towards the sellers, which is coming from buys. That's important to realize that it's coming from buys, because if you can't counter it with something equally powerful or somewhat powerful, then you're not going to be able to change people's minds from chasing to dump your project. But if you can significantly change the way that buys happen to fuel not just the ability to sell, but the ability to hold and be rewarded for it, then you can allow for a community to actually say, you know what? I like this community, and there's value in staying in it. It's not just staying it because I like it and giving it my bag. There's actual value. I want to see this project grow because I will be rewarded for it without having to leave the project. This is why rewarding holding is super important, because we are united if we can be rewarded for holding, but we're divided if we're rewarded for selling. Now I'm trying to outsell all of you guys as high as I can and get as many people after me to dump on. And like, how is that community driven? That's not right. And I'm working against the future of the project. So the traditional crypto model system is literally designed because it comes from the share model system. So it's not just crypto, but it's shares and stocks that have the same value incentive attached to it, to cause people to chase the destruction of it early on and then later on try to recover from it, because speculation is so much more powerful than utility. Speculation involves convincing people to believe something, and the thing doesn't have to be true. Whereas utility, it has to be true. It has to be useful, or people aren't going to use it, right? So that's why speculation is so much more powerful than utility. And so the concept, the solution, it's very simple, but people just don't realize it, is that the buy volume is to take buys and to change the percentage that goes towards selling and the percentage that goes towards holding. You have value going between two different ideas. One is the ability to not believe in the project, and the other is the ability to believe in the project. So if all value goes towards selling, then you're only giving value to leaving the project, right? Some people might even believe in it and like the community, like the project, like the idea, but there's no way to get value out of that, so they just got to sell their bags. Most of the projects that you take profits in, you probably liked that project. You probably liked what they were doing. You probably liked, uh, the ideas in the community, but the value wasn't there in staying, so you left your position, right? And it's not about getting rid of one or the other, but it's about fueling both of them and playing with and finding the best percentages. But most projects have 100% liquidity going towards selling. You are 100% incentivizing everyone to leave your project because the only way to get value is to leave the project by selling your bag. And so people are trying to leave your project at as big of a possible, a position as they can. So people are buying your project early, not to hold it because they believe in it, but to hope that you get enough community for them to use as exit liquidity. This is obviously not a good setup for its intended purpose, which was for us to come together and believe in something, support something, and hope and work together to see its success. There is no value that's uniting us to work together in crypto to see the success of the project. The value is in dumping the project. So, I might have to grab a drink. The difference here is if you even start to change this from 100% liquidity going towards selling to like 90, and then you do like 10% towards holding, it may not be much, but you started to balance this even a little bit. And in doing so, you can provide value in staying in the project and in holding the project, which means the community can work towards the success of the project, value for each other, and caring about the idea. So this is a very simple solution that people just don't know. Like, nobody knows this. For some reason, no one knows this. No one knows this is a possibility. To take the buy volume and to basically use tax or tokenomics to fuel value that's delayed that goes towards rewarding the community and the whales for staying in the project and working towards its success and its growth. That I don't know if you could have a more common sense, simple breakdown of what the current system is and what the solution is. So control protocol, control token, control chain, our DEX, everything that we're doing is about taking value and incentivizing and rewarding holding, and we're not taking it from some bullcrap place. We're not just giving away extra tokens because those can be devalued before you get them. If you give away extra tokens, your holders are going to sell down before those people get them. That's why that doesn't work. You have to give away actual value. You can't just be promising more things. Oh, if you hold this, you'll get access to all these things. Oh, if you hold this, you'll get utility revenue, right? You have to provide actual value. And the only way to do that is to utilize a tax that utilizes the liquidity, so that you can have value in holding versus value in staying. And you can change these numbers from 90% and 10% to 70 and 30, 50-50. And what you're doing is people are entering the project and they're fueling the ability to leave the project and the ability to commit to it, because there's value in both of those things. If I tell you, I'll give you $1 million if you never talk to me again, what's the choice? It's hang out with me or get $1 million, right? You're deciding between value and no value. And you have to really like who I am and most people, even if you do like who I am, you're probably taking that million saying, hey man, it's nice knowing you. But if I say, hey, I'll give you, $400,000 if you never hang out with me again, but I'll give you 500 if you hang out with me every day, $500,000. Now that the value is somewhat balanced, you're actually able to decide, do I really like this guy? Do I want to be around him that much? Or would I prefer to not be around him? Because the value is similar. And so if the value is only going towards selling, then, sorry, my gum's a little messed up, so I'm trying to put some pressure on it. If the value is only going towards selling, then you don't really have the ability to decide if you like the project or not. because there's no value in staying. The value's in the pump and the dump. And so the value that's being collected is all being given away to the whales who leave the project. And then everybody else is just stuck with the project. They're hoping for marketing and utility. By taking value from those buys, that initial hype, where the excitement is, where the power is, where the money is, where the liquidity is, and delaying it, you are protecting the life of the project. The value is the life of the project. It's the belief, it's the hype, the sentiment. As the value goes up, the price goes up, people get excited, they get bullish. And as the price goes down, people get scared, right? So what we are doing is we're saying when people enter into a project, they need to be fueling two ideas: liquidity for trading and liquidity for holding. And by having liquidity for holding, you can, if the community is working together to grow a project and they continue to grow it instead of dumping it, now, if everyone's getting rewards for holding, especially if there's a significant way to get rewards, now a community can actually work to grow a project if they actually believe in it. Because they're building up value in the future. It's so important that you understand that. I'm not going to do this one too long just because my tooth is a little jacked up, because I had a tooth extracted recently and it's acting up right now. But if you... Actually, let's go back to white. If you have a system, right, and I've shown this before, but I'll show this real quick, and you have a tax list token, no tax, 0%, you just buy and sell, and then you have a tax token where it's rewarding you with stablecoin or a blue chip. The tax list token only rewards selling. It only rewards leaving. That divides the community and causes everybody to try to be the biggest exit position, and everybody knows it's in the beginning. The team, the whales, and the community are all chasing to dump the charts at the highest point possible, which means no one gives a crap about the future of the project. And if you do, you're the one who loses, right? Because you're not trying to sell. That's why everybody says, oh, I told you to take profits and all that stuff. Tax token starts to change that dynamic, because just by holding, you start getting value. The simplest way to put it, you start to get value. And you don't have to leave. You can just sit there and hold, and now all you need is volume, right? Now, just as people enter or exit the project, you're getting rewarded for it just by staying. That's awesome. Well, what we've done is we've taken this idea that starts to reward holding more. There has been nothing that rewards holding more than tax tokens. Nothing. Nothing can compete. When you take a percentage of 100 million in volume, 5%, that's 5 million in rewards, right? Now, go make a utility that produces 5 million rewards. Let me know how that goes, how easy that is. So what we have done is we've really just taken tax tokens and we've evolved them far beyond what people thought was possible. And if you go study control token, if you're watching this and you haven't heard me before, you're probably, it's gonna blow your mind what we can do. So taxless tokenomics. What is taxless tokenomics? Something you've never heard of. We set aside a large percent of the supply, and then when you buy, we give you extra tokens. It's giving extra tokens. Why has no one thought of this? Because it can't be done with a traditional taxless token, a regular token. It can only be done in a tax token. Because when you buy a tax token, you pay a percentage, right? If it's a 10% fee, well, your $100 turns into 90. Just for buying into the project, you're down. But you get the benefit of rewards, right? Taxless tokenomics says, why should you, the buyer, be punished? If you're providing liquidity and you're providing rewards, you shouldn't be punished for that. We set aside the supply, we give you extra tokens, and we can actually give you more than what you purchased. So we can actually, instead of you being at 90, we can put you at 102. The reason this can't be abused is when you go to sell, you'll have a sell fee and you'll come out with less if you immediately try to sell. Traditionally with taxless token, a regular token, if you give somebody even a little bit of extra tokens, they could just buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and drain your liquidity. Only with tax tokens can we give you extra tokens, and this hasn't been done before. So taxless tokenomics. What does that mean? We can create a project that doesn't punish you and allows for you to enter into rewards without you taking that hit. That hasn't been done before. We're the first project to do that. Control token, Sol Control, it's coming out. Follow my profile if you're not following me, and you'll see these things. We're already doing it with Control Token. If you go to controltoken.net, you buy through our website, you have 15% in, 20% sell. We cover your entire buy fee and a portion of your sell fee. We just give you a bunch of extra tokens. Taxless tokenomics is a very powerful narrative that hasn't been done before, and we're the first ones to do it. The benefit of getting into large reward projects without being punished by the fees as much. So because we cover your buy fee, you're not punished at all for entering the project. Only people who sell are being technically punished or hitting a fee whenever they leave the project. Where does that fee go to? To the people that are staying. So it's a really great setup. That's just one way. So with Sol Control and with our other projects that we're doing, like I said, we've taken tax tokens, and we don't just want to kind of reward holding, because tax tokens, the rewards are usually really good, but selling is usually always better. We need something that can compete with selling. We need so much value going to so few holders, right? Because selling only goes to the few holders that sell. We need so much value going to few holders, but in a way that rewards helping the project or committing to the project's growth. So Sol Control is kind of our first main demonstration of that. It's going to be coming out probably within the next week or two. We'll be going live at the pre-sale, the website, and the launch. No team tokens. I'm obviously doxxed. I live in Oklahoma. I have nothing to hide because I'm not here to dump on people. Of course, scammers are going to say that. You just have to research me and decide if you trust me or not. So Sol Control is, what we do is we take 2% of all volume, and then we pick 5 random tokens. 5 random tokens. Anybody could hold them, right? 5 random. The more tokens you hold, the more likelihood you have of your token being held. 5 random tokens. If that token's in your wallet, you're one of the winners. You can only win once per month. So every month you can win 2% of volume. 2% of 100 million is 2 million, right? 5 people splitting 2 million is 5 people getting $400,000 in Solana each. This is our setup right now. This value, when you delay it, it doesn't matter if the price gets sold down to 0. The delayed value cannot be devalued. Buying and selling moves the rewards up. That's the super important part about this, is buying and selling makes the liquidity go down, but if you have a tax token, buying and selling moves the value up. And if you delay that value, now it can only move up until it gets distributed, which is the super important part to understand about our solution to the traditional crypto model that incentivizes just chasing that pump and dump. So 100 million, that's 5 people getting $400,000, which is absolutely nuts. Now, the cool part here is they don't have to leave the project. They just, whoever has the most tokens, they have the most, and there's a significant payout. They're also getting their rewards along the way. So we're heavily incentivizing holding with Sol Control while you have no buy fee. We cover your buy fee. We give you extra tokens when you buy through the website. So we've taken a traditional crypto that only encourages dumping and leaving the project, and we've created great incentive to hold. You also get 4% Sol every hour, and you get 2% Sol every week. So you're getting really good rewards, and you have a chance of winning this big payout at the end of the month. And even if you don't, there's always next month. Every month it can just keep happening. This is just one thing we've come up with. We have a ton of other solutions, taxless tokenomics. We've got tiered tokenomics. People just don't realize how good crypto can be, but we're going to show them. Tiered tokenomics is a really cool concept because it's about getting value from the top of the holders to the bottom. Usually the top holders eat up all the value, and we want to make it more fair for the people at the bottom. And so we want to not only reward Switch. Internet has gone down, CC, and that was on Ethereum regulation. What do you mean, James? The internet has gone down. What does that mean? Are you saying the stream's not working? Internet's gone down. My internet's not down. No, I think it's working, James. All right, my tooth is acting up, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and then. So yeah, the tiered. It's about making it. You're shifting value, right? That's all we're doing. Is we're shifting incentives. We're shifting. If people are chasing value, then where we put that value is what people are going to chase. If the value's in leaving, people are going to chase to leave your project. If you have value in holding, people are going to chase to hold your project. It really is that simple. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, B-Man. I don't know why you guys keep telling me that the stream's not working. It's all good. Hey, what's up, Ozzy? What's up, B-Man? What's up, Tommy? Good to see you guys. So I feel, and I could be wrong here, right? You could say, oh, this guy's an idiot, doesn't know what he's talking about. I feel this is the solution that everybody needs. Like, whether you think you need it or not, this is what you need. This is what crypto needs. And people don't know it for some reason. They just don't. So we're providing these solutions. We're trying to get people to realize, what's up, Mel Gibson? Good to see you, brother. We're trying to get people to realize that these things are possible. And the goal is to, instead of only reward selling, we want to reward holding. Instead of only rewarding the top holders, we want to reward as many holders as we can. Instead of rewarding, making it like barely valuable to, if you're just too late to a project, the top holders eat up all the liquidity, they eat up all the rewards, they eat up all the revenue from utility. We want to balance that. We want to make it more fair. And tokenomics is just literally a way to do that. So our tiered tokenomics probably have the most fair tokenomics you've ever seen, like the most fair cryptos you've ever seen in terms of making it more fair for the later buyers. What's up, Slick? Good to see you, brother. It's good to be back. I thought my gum was healed, but it's not, which is unfortunate. I have to give it a little more time. Tiered tokenomics. People don't realize sell less fees. So there are really two downsides to tax tokens is that you have to pay a fee and it puts cells on the chart. But we solved you having to pay a fee with taxless tokenomics. And then we solved, not our solution, but one we've taken from other projects, sell less fees, the ability to collect the value beforehand. And so you don't have to put cells on the charts. It's just less buy pressure, which is better for the project, right? No cells on the charts, which is crazy stuff, at least from buys. From sells, you're still going to have cells. But from buy pressure, it doesn't put any cells on the charts, which is awesome to produce the rewards. So you got sell-less fees, tiered tokenomics, taxless tokenomics. We have dynamic tokenomics. We have a lot of solutions that we've come up with. And the Sol Control is going to be a very powerful demonstration of getting significant value to a few people. It's really the difference. But the reason that tax tokens are only able to kind of counter the taxless incentives to start to incentivize the holding is because people start getting rewards. Percentage of all volume starts going to everybody, and now you're just getting rewards. The whales eat that up, right? So the reason that it's not as powerful is because everyone shares. Even if you do staking, the whales can enter the staking and eat up all the value. So everyone shares it. And so kind of the task that we have for someone who's trying to solve this, and maybe that's why it hasn't been solved, is people just give up or they just haven't found the right idea yet. I think I have found the right idea, and that we have at Control Token. What's up, James? Cafe Control, you're good. Thanks, brother. It's good to see you guys again. I wish my tooth wasn't acting up, but that's okay. I'm going to finish this soon and go do some yard work. I told you guys I'm waiting for the finalization of Soul Control. Although I might need a couple days for my tooth to heal because I'm gonna need to be talking a lot. I thought it was healed, but as soon as I started doing this live, it starts acting up, and I don't want to get dry socket, and it's kind of hurting right now, and it shouldn't be. So I just gotta rest, unfortunately. Um, so Soul Control, it changes the relationship of chasing the token to collect it to exit, to chasing it to collect it to get rewards, and chasing it to collect it to get as many entries as you can to get a large payout at the end of the month. And we're just doing a month, right? And Soul Control is more so designed for the Solana community. It's about taking their community and saying what's their mindset, and a month is a long time, and saying what if you have significant value that builds up for a month that gets paid out? Who is it going to? Well, it's going to 5 random tokens, right? But you don't have control over which token is selected, but you do have control over how many tokens you have. If you're buying dips, if you're getting in early, you're able to get a lot of tokens. If you're holding those tokens or getting a large amount of tokens, you're increasing the likelihood that you're going to be one of these 5 winners. If you're holding, you're helping the project. If you're chasing exiting the project, you're chasing to hurt the project and to cause it to fail. If you're chasing value in the future, you're chasing the success and growth of the project for a period of time, at least. So just rub some dirt on it. Yeah, I don't know. I went and saw Dennis, and he was like, I think you had dry socket, but it looks like it like fixed itself. And so I thought I was good, but it's acting up right now. Luckily, I like live right next to a dentist, so I could like walk, as long as they're not closed, I could walk down there. But I'm just trying not to push it. I thought I was good, but if I push it too much, then I could be in a lot of pain, and then I would not be able to talk for a while. And I need to be able to talk when Soul Control comes out. I need to be able to talk. So yeah, so people are chasing the token. If there's a huge dip, right, and we have 10 million in volume so far, then 5 people will be getting $40,000 worth of Solana. And if you're the top wallets, if your bag becomes less than 40K, right, then you'll know that you have the highest likelihood, because you have so many entries, of being the winner of that 40K. And if the price dips, that anybody can come in and say, I'm going to buy up a ton more entries and tokens. I'm going to get more rewards. I'm going to increase my likelihood of winning. The whales usually control the project. So, don't use straws. Don't make out. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, dude, tooth stuff sucks, but it's okay. So getting your whales to chase long-term and to be rewarded for it. You can't just like, hey guys, let's all just chase something and hope it works out. They're going to be upset, right, that they didn't sell your project, probably. But if you get people to chase value that's just there, that's what I'm saying. People just chase value. So all you have to do is move that value into the future, and now people will chase value in the future. If you have a system that's set up to reward them for growth, then they're going to get more value, right? And people are going to chase the long term of the project. Now, is this a permanent fix to crypto? Does this make every crypto that uses these ideas means everyone's going to be rich? No, of course not. But it's a better system where you change your community from chasing leaving the project to chasing holding the project, chasing its success. So if we work together and we all push a project to grow, to market it, to succeed, to actually care about the idea or the utility, then we're going to be a lot more likely to succeed, right? But if we're only chasing to exit the project, then we're just trying to convince other people to be our exit liquidity. And that's a lot of what's going on with crypto right now. That's the narrative of crypto, is finding exit liquidity. And that's a problem. If we don't change that to provide value instead of take value, then we're never going to be able to fix this problem. Because people very quickly figure out, oh, I just have to be early and dump. And so we want adoption, but no one, they're not going to want to come in if they're having a bad time. And if we've figured out how to dump on them and we're like, hey guys, come into crypto so that we can basically use you as exit liquidity, that's not going to work, guys. They need to come in and have a good time, and then you'll see adoption. People aren't going to play a game that's rigged against them and want to participate or tell other people about it. But if people have a good time, then they're going to be more likely to do that. So with Soul Control, we have the ability to significantly reward you for helping the project. If you win that, you haven't left the project, right? 2%. If you're a top wallet and we hit 100 million in volume and you win, that's $400,000 worth of Solana, right? With 100 million in volume. 5 people get that. Everyone has a chance, but 5 people get it. More tokens you have, the more likely one of your tokens will be selected. You can only win once, so if a top wallet has a large amount and they win, now it's everybody else has more fair chances. And you still have your bag after all this. If you don't win, you still got all your rewards. You still have your bag. You can still decide if you want to go for another month or not, because next month's going to pay out too. If everybody exits the project, they provide a lot of value into the rewards, into the monthly payout, and they provide a cheaper entry point to get tokens to get that monthly payout. It may not be perfectly sustainable, but it's 1,000 times better than your traditional crypto setup, because a traditional crypto setup, there's just no value in the future. It's just all in whoever leaves the project first. So this is starting to just prove the concept that you can, by delaying value, you can attach and unite your community to chase value in the future. And that's important, right? Ideally, you want to attach that value to your vision of the project, which might be a utility or a certain amount of holders. I don't know. But to say this is what that milestone that we're aiming to achieve, and to delay liquidity or to delay rewards into that is a very powerful idea, because it gives us a common goal and vision, and it allows for us to pursue that together instead of against each other. So typical cryptos just divide the community against each other, and because that's where all the value is. It's where the incentives are. And if you change those incentives to be about, hey guys, if we work together, we can make this a top crypto, right? With Soul Control, hey guys, if we hit 100 million in volume, 5 of our top people, and maybe even some of the smaller ones, because everyone has a chance, are going to get $400,000 worth of Solana. Solana can move up and down, so that can fluctuate that price if it dips or if it goes up a lot, but it'll store up over the course of that period of time around $400,000 of Solana. If we only hit 10 million in volume, it's going to be 40,000, right? 5 people are going to get 40K. Everyone's going to get rewards. And so the more, right, this is only 10%, and we're covering your buy fee. So this is probably one of the best reward projects that you could get in terms of the hit you take for the buy fee, the amount that gets paid out, and the whales being incentivized to hold. It doesn't guarantee that we'll have the best rewards. It just guarantees that the setup is as good as it can be, and probably as good as anybody's ever seen. If I increase this, right, if I launch a project where we have 30 to 40% going towards holding, now we're really starting to balance between where the value that people are chasing. It's like if people are chasing value and it's all towards leaving the project, everyone's going to chase exit liquidity to leave the project. But if we start to balance that, then people can start to chase, hey, I want to chase the success of this project because I'll be rewarded for it with rewards or for a big payout or whatever it is, or the utility or whatever, right? But that's what we're trying to do. And so the ability to change that percentage to more than what is probably typically accepted, because people aren't going to pay a 30% fee. No one's going to throw in 1,000 and immediately be 700 and then have a selfie on top of that. The only way you could do that is with our solution, Taxless Tokenomics. We set aside 60, 70, 80. You could set aside 99% of the supply and lock it and then give it to new buyers. You could do something that crazy, and I've already thought of that idea. And then the supply can only grow as people buy the token. But the supply is set in stone as well. It's not like it's inflationary. And then you could have that 30%, people could pay taxless, and this is like me handing out the treasure of the universe, I feel like, when it comes to crypto, to explain these ideas. And somebody could look at this and go, wow, that's a very simple and clear explanation of like why crypto doesn't work and how it could work way better. And we already have these solutions. Control Token, controltoken.net, Soul Control. Soul Control is about to launch on its pre-sale. I'm doxed. I haven't sold a single Control Token, and we're coming up on a year in about 3 to 4 months. I haven't sold a single token. I've only been paid out of the treasury, which gets a percent of volume, and we still have a very healthy treasury. We still have like around 100K or something. Same thing with this. I don't have any tokens. I'm not giving away any tokens. We might pay some people with tokens, but it's a very small percent that we've set aside, and I'm probably going to do what I can to not pay people in tokens and say you just got to earn your bag. We'll pay you out of the treasury, but we won't pay you in tokens. So you've got me, who's doxxed. I live in Oklahoma. My name's Thomas. I don't have anything to hide because I'm not committing fraud, because it's just not who I am. And if you can't tell, I care about people. I wouldn't be thinking about these solutions if my goal wasn't to make it better for people, to get more value into your hands. I know what you're seeking. You're not seeking a community and certain images or more tokens that get devalued. You're seeking value, and if I disregard that, it'd be super disrespectful to do that to you. And I think crypto needs to wake up. People are chasing value, and we need that value to be, the incentives of it to be about working together to succeed with good ideas. We should not be chasing terrible ideas and to promote them just to find exit liquidity. We should be chasing ideas that are worth chasing, or communities that are worth chasing. Things that are beneficial to society, we should be chasing that. We should not be chasing to take people's money. We should be chasing, to provide value to people and to benefit off providing value. That's really the difference between like good and evil. But one's sustainable too, right? Taking value from people is not sustainable unless you're just really corrupt. So the 30%, right? I mean, that's why I say Soul Control. We're trying to give the Soul community a docs founder, no team tokens, significant value in holding, the best reward project you've ever seen, no buy fee. We can increase the amount of tokens we're giving you. It doesn't really get better than that. And now it's like down to how well we do marketing and how well the community actually commits to the project. I'm basically saying I can give you the setup and I can give you the vision, but I need a community to see that vision and to commit to it with me. My goal is as much growth as is possible in an entire month. The more we grow, the more volume into the treasury, the more I can get paid out of the treasury, right? That's my incentives, if we're going to be real. The more we grow, the more your bags go up, the more your rewards go up, and the more the big payout at the end of the month goes up. So we've aligned the interest of everybody with as much growth as possible with with the incentives, right? And our goal really is to prove to people that this setup is better, but we have to show people first. If they don't experience it, they're not gonna believe it. Most people aren't. Like a few will, but most people are gonna. They need the proof first, and then they'll say, "Why did that project do so well?" And then I can come in and say, because we took the incentive and instead of giving it to everybody who left the project, we gave a significant amount to people who stayed. That's why I asked that question. For anybody who listens to me, how much value do you want in a crypto to go to the people who sell and to the people who hold? Almost no one, unless they're stupid or just have a crazy bias, is going to say, I want 0% to go to the people who hold, right? They're going to say, no, yeah, I think a good amount should go towards the people that hold. If you ask people that, they will say that, right? They just don't know how to do it. They've never heard of a possible solution. If you came and you said, oh, let's do 30% tax, people are going to be like, dude, no one's going to pay that, bro. No one's paying a 30% tax. And I'd say, you're right. But what if I set aside the supply to cover that 30% so you don't feel the weight of it? Then would people do it? And you'd say, yeah, they probably would. They probably would buy into a project that had significant value going towards the future, and they don't have to take the hit of a buy tax. That's like a precious jewel of an idea that people don't realize. It's a narrative that I feel I don't like giving out partially because it's such a good idea. It's so powerful. If you don't know that you can cover the buy and sell fee, then you don't realize that you can start to balance the value that people are chasing between now and the future. That's the reality of it. And we've discovered all this through Control Token. We didn't know about taxless tokenomics. We just kind of discovered, like, oh, we can give people tokens, and as long as we don't give them too much, they can't abuse it. But we can give people a lot. If you're paying a 10% tax, I can give you a lot of tokens. I can give you 9, 10%, and you still can't abuse it. But I'm alleviating you from being punished for providing liquidity and rewards. So the setup is that if you do tax tokens, you start to provide rewards, but the holders take that hit. So people can't increase that too high, or people just don't want to take that hit. But if you can alleviate them taking the hit, then you can increase it high. Then you can really provide the craziest, best reward projects you've ever seen, with more value in the future than you've ever seen, more value to chase the future, to work together to grow a project than you've ever seen. I'm holding back. I'm really holding back on what's possible. Like really, really, really holding back. This is a fraction of what's possible. Soul Control is like the best we can do on Solana. On an EVM chain, I could put something out that would blow your freaking mind. Something that would just make you go, I did not know this was possible. You look at our decks we're building, it's the same thing. Things that you did not even think were possible is what we're going to be doing at Control Token, Control Protocol. Everything that we do is going back towards our token, Control Token. You go to controltoken.net. Everything we do is going back to that. So I don't, when I explain these things, I'm like, I don't know if I could simplify it anymore. I don't know if I could give you such valuable insight into understanding crypto. I don't know if I could give you such valuable insight into understanding the solution, that if you take where the power is at, the buy pressure, and you fuel the present and the ability to leave, the ability to stay and the ability to leave, then you are able to create a crypto where people can actually pursue success. It's like common sense. It's more fair. It rewards the people who help the project and not just the people who get in early and sell. There's so many pros that come out of this. But all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys for being here. I'm going to keep this short. And if anybody watches this who's not in Control Token, you guys can join. Go to controltoken.net, join our TG, join our Discord. We're getting ready to launch our Soul Control. So this is our next big thing, but it's just a fraction. It's like 1%, 2% of what's possible of what we're going to be doing in this space. So make sure that you, while this is going to be fun and exciting, what we can do is makes this look like nothing. So I do think Soul Control is going to be one of the best reward projects to ever exist. Not in terms of growth. I'm not claiming that we're going to have the biggest growth. We can, but that's really up to the community and how good our marketing is. But the value distribution and the incentives are better than, I can claim that those are better than most of your cryptos. The payouts just really good. The incentives are really good. We cover your buy fee. It just doesn't get better than those things. Hopefully we hit 50 million, 100 million. Maybe we just keep going, 200 million, a billion. I don't know. But it's a new narrative, and it's giving the power to the community, and it's rewarding the community for working together to grow the project. That's like the most important thing. Is like, I need to unite the whales and all the community to chase the success of the project over a course of time so that they can be rewarded for it. And crypto just doesn't do that. It rewards you for dumping your bag. And you could even be somebody who didn't help market or do anything. You just sat back and then just dumped your bag. You didn't help in any way, shape, or form. And you're rewarded with all the value. That's not a good setup. So anyways, thanks for being here, guys. Sorry about my gum acting up. Dang it. Yeah, I'll have to give it more time. I'm going to go gargle some salt water and see if I can't. I really need to be able to talk a lot, so I need this thing to heal. And I thought it was good, but apparently it's acting up right now. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this. And like I said, whether we have 10 viewers, 5 viewers, 0, 100, 1,000, it doesn't change that these ideas are as good as what they are. It doesn't change that this is the solution to DeFi, to get people to stop chasing each other as exit liquidity and to start working together to chase success. I can't simplify that anymore. I can't speak that any more clearly. If people understand that and they reject it, then they probably just don't want the solution. But we're going to come together, and anybody who believes in a better crypto, a better version of crypto, you can join me, join our community, join James and Ozzy and Slick Rick, Mel Gibson, Cafe Control. These are the people that are supporting me in our community. They believe in a better version of crypto where we actually care about each other and don't try to just use each other as exit liquidity, and that we chase success and we can be rewarded for it. We need the ability to chase success and be rewarded for it. By success, I mean success of the project, not your success by exiting the project, but the success of the project, accomplishing your utilities, reaching growth, sending a message, right? Those are really the three main things that I think crypto does. You provide a utility, you hit a certain milestone of growth, or you can send a message, right? Like with a meme coin, it does kind of send a message when you do meme coins. So anyways, 100% guys. Slick Rick, thanks for being here. Yeah, James, everything control is really fantastic, and we're not done exploring what's possible. We're still, like, as I put out these things, then we're gonna reassess where we're at, see what the problems are, and keep innovating. And everything that we've discovered is just by looking at the problem we face and coming up with a solution. These are just the solutions we've come up with, and I think they're the best ones so far. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Drop a comment down below, and if you're on the YouTube side of things or Twitter, you can drop a comment, and I'll do my best to respond. And I'll see you guys around. You guys have a great day.